Your body is talking to you right now. It has been talking to you your entire life. But after 60, the conversation changes. The body that used to whisper starts to speak. The body that used to hint starts to announce. And the body that used to forgive your neglect starts to remember every single thing you put it through and present the bill. Not to punish you, to protect you. Every ache, every change, every strange new feeling that didn't exist 5 years ago is your body trying to tell you something. And the difference between the person who ages well and the person who ages poorly often comes down to one simple thing. Did they listen? Not to the doctor, to the body. The doctor sees you for 15 minutes twice a year. Your body is with you every second of every day. It knows things the doctor cannot know. It feels things the tests cannot measure. It speaks a language that is older than medicine and more accurate than any machine. And that language, after 60, becomes urgent. The body is no longer whispering because it has learned that you do not respond to whispers. So it is raising its voice. And today, I am going to teach you how to hear what it is saying. 5 things your body is telling you after 60 that you must never ignore. Not because I am a doctor, because I am a man who listened to his body when it spoke and watched what happened to the men who didn't. My grandmother treated the body the way she treated the land. She said the body is earth. It is soil and water and bone and root. And the same way you read the land to know what is coming, you read the body. A farmer does not ignore a change in the soil. A farmer does not look at yellowing leaves and say it is probably nothing. A farmer investigates. A farmer pays attention. A farmer knows that the small signs are the ones that save the crop. And your body is your crop. The only crop you will ever tend that you cannot replant if it fails. The leaves are speaking. The soil is shifting. And if you are over 60 and you are dismissing the signs as just getting old, you are making the same mistake as a farmer who watches his field die and blames the season instead of checking the water. The first thing you must never ignore is a change in your sleep. Not the occasional bad night. Everyone has a bad night. I am talking about a pattern, a shift. You used to sleep through the night and now you wake up at the same time every night. You used to fall asleep easily and now your mind races for an hour before your body gives in. You used to wake up rested and now you wake up as tired as you were when you lay down. These changes are not random. They are not just what happens when you get old. They are your body telling you that something in the system has shifted. Maybe your stress levels have changed. Maybe your hormones have shifted. Maybe your heart is working harder than it used to, and the strain is showing up first in your sleep, because sleep is where the body does its repair work. And if the repair work is being disrupted, the body is telling you that the thing it is trying to repair has gotten bigger than the repair crew can handle on its own. I knew a man named Russell who ignored his sleep changes for 2 years. 2 years of waking up at 3 in the morning. 2 years of lying in the dark, staring at the ceiling. And every time someone asked him about it, he said the same thing. I'm just getting old. 4 words that dismissed what his body was screaming at him. Just getting old. As if his body had nothing to say. As if the change was meaningless. As if 70 years of perfect sleep suddenly ending for no reason was just the cost of aging. It was not the cost of aging. It was the cost of an undiagnosed heart condition that was making his body work overtime while he slept. And because Russell dismissed the sign, the condition advanced for 2 years without treatment. 2 years that could have been spent managing it. 2 years that were instead spent telling himself it was nothing. By the time the condition was found, it had progressed to a stage that could have been prevented if he had listened when his body first changed the sleep pattern. The body spoke at year 1. Russell didn't listen until year 3, and those 2 years cost him options that he will never get back. I want to say something about the phrase, just getting old, because those 3 words have done more damage to older people's health than almost any disease I can name. Just getting old is the blanket that covers every sign the body sends. It is the excuse that silences the alarm. It is the phrase that turns a message into noise. And I understand why people use it, because the alternative is frightening. The alternative is admitting that something might be wrong. And admitting that something might be wrong means going to a doctor. And going to a doctor means possibly hearing something you don't want to hear. And so the phrase, just getting old, becomes a shield, a way to avoid the fear by pretending the change is normal. But normal and common are not the same thing. Just because something happens to many older people does not mean it is supposed to happen to you. A change in sleep is common after 60. That does not make it harmless. A change in balance is common after 60. That does not make it safe to ignore. Common means many people experience it. Common does not mean it requires no attention. And the person who uses just getting old as the answer to every question their body asks is the person who is telling the most important messenger in their life to shut up and sit down. Don't do that. Your body has never lied to you. Your body has never exaggerated. Your body has never sent a false alarm. Every signal it has ever sent was real. And the signal it is sending right now deserves more than 3 words and a shrug. My grandmother had another teaching about the body that I want to share with you. She said the body speaks in order. She said the first sign is always small, a whisper, an ache, a change in a pattern. If you hear the whisper and respond, the body does not need to raise its voice. The whisper was enough. But if you ignore the whisper, the body speaks louder. The ache becomes pain. The change becomes disruption. And if you ignore the louder voice, the body shouts. The pain becomes a crisis. The disruption becomes an emergency. And the emergency is always more expensive, more dangerous, and more life-altering than the whisper would have been if you had just listened. The body gives you the cheap solution first, the whisper, the early sign, the quiet change. If you take the cheap solution, the problem stays small. If you wait for the shout, the problem has grown into something that the cheap solution can no longer fix. And now you need the expensive solution, the surgery, the medication, the recovery, the loss of independence, all because a whisper was treated as noise. Before I share the next teaching, I need to tell you something. I am not going to be here forever, and most of what I know was never written anywhere. So I sat down and I wrote it, all of it, 20 teachings, 4 parts, in the order they were meant to be received, the ones about listening to what your body and your spirit are telling you, the ones about honoring the vessel that has carried you this far, the ones I have never said on camera. It is called The Native Way, and it costs less than 1 dinner you will not remember. Scan the code on your screen or look in the comments, but do not leave yet, because the next 4 things are the ones that people tell me they had been ignoring for years before they heard this teaching. The second thing you must never ignore is a change in your appetite, not a diet, not a decision to eat less, a change that happened on its own. Food that used to taste good doesn't anymore. Meals that used to excite you now feel like a chore. You skip breakfast without noticing. You forget to eat lunch. You look at dinner and think, I am not really hungry. And you tell yourself it is nothing. Maybe I am just eating less because I am less active. Maybe my body just doesn't need as much fuel anymore. And those things might be true, but they also might not be. Because appetite is one of the first things the body adjusts when something is wrong internally. The body knows that digesting food takes energy. And if the body needs that energy for something else, for fighting something, for repairing something, for managing something that you don't know about yet, it will reduce your appetite to redirect the energy. Your sudden disinterest in food might not be aging. It might be allocation, your body shifting resources from one department to another because one department has an emergency that the other departments haven't been told about yet. You are the last to know. The body always knows first. My grandmother said the appetite is the body's budget. She said when the body cuts the food budget, it is because the money is going somewhere else. And when the money is going somewhere else, you need to find out where. Not next month. Not when it gets worse. Now. Because the body does not cut budgets for fun. The body cuts budgets because there is a crisis somewhere in the system that requires funding. And the funding has to come from somewhere. It comes from your appetite. It comes from your energy. It comes from your sleep. Every reduction in something you used to have plenty of is a reallocation. And every reallocation is a message. The body is saying, I need help over here. And the person who says, I'm just not hungry anymore, is the person who is ignoring a budget crisis inside their own house. The third thing you must never ignore is a change in your balance. This one gets dismissed more than any other because the world has convinced you that losing your balance is just what happens to old people. You trip, you stumble, you grab the wall more than you used to. You feel unsteady on stairs that you used to take two at a time. And you laugh it off. You say, I'm getting clumsy. You say, my legs aren't what they used to be. But balance is not clumsiness. Balance is a system. A complex, multi-part system that involves your inner ear, your vision, your nervous system, your muscles, and your brain all communicating with each other in real time. And when the balance changes, it means one of those parts has changed its contribution to the conversation. Maybe your inner ear, maybe your vision. Maybe a nerve signal is arriving a fraction of a second late. Maybe a muscle that used to fire instantly now fires with a delay. Each of those possibilities is a specific thing with a specific cause and a specific solution. And none of them are just getting old. They are all your body telling you that a specific system needs attention. I watched a woman dismiss her balance changes for a year and a half. She held the railing a little tighter. She avoided stairs when she could. She stopped going for walks because the uneven ground made her nervous. And she told everyone she was fine, just a little unsteady, just being careful. And then she fell, in her own kitchen, on flat ground, and she broke her hip. And the hip led to surgery, and the surgery led to recovery, and the recovery led to months in a bed, and the months in a bed led to a decline that she never fully came back from. All because the balance change, which was the first whisper, was ignored for 18 months. The whisper became a shout on the kitchen floor, and the shout cost her the last mobile years of her life. If she had listened when the balance first changed, a doctor might have found the cause. An exercise might have strengthened the system. A medication might have corrected the signal. The fall might never have happened. The kitchen floor might have remained what it was supposed to be, a place where she cooked, not a place where her independence ended. The fourth thing you must never ignore is a change in your mood that you cannot explain. Not sadness after a loss, not grief after a death, not worry during a stressful time. Those are normal emotional responses to real events. I am talking about a mood change that arrives without a trigger. A heaviness that settles over you one morning and doesn't lift. An irritability that has no source. A flatness where emotions used to live. A feeling of not caring about things that you used to care deeply about. These mood changes are not weakness. They are not you being dramatic. They are often your body's first signal that something chemical has shifted. Hormones, thyroid function, vitamin levels, blood sugar, inflammation. The body and the mind are not separate systems. They are one system wearing two costumes. And when the body's chemistry changes, the mind's weather changes with it. The depression you are feeling might not be emotional. It might be biological. And the difference matters. Because an emotional sadness needs time and support and connection. A biological sadness needs a blood test and a doctor who is willing to look at the body when the mind is hurting. My grandmother said, when the sky inside you changes and you don't know why, look at the ground. The ground feeds the sky. She meant that when your mood changes without a reason, look at the body. The body is the ground that the mood grows from. And if the ground has shifted, the sky will change no matter how hard you try to think your way back to sunshine. You cannot think your way out of a chemical imbalance. You can only find it and fix it. And finding it starts with not dismissing the mood change as just getting old or just being tired or just not feeling like myself. That last one, not feeling like myself, is the most important sentence you can say to a doctor, because it means something changed, and something changing after 60 deserves investigation, not dismissal. The fifth thing you must never ignore is pain that moves. Not the constant ache in your knee that has been there for 10 years. You know that pain. You have a relationship with that pain. It has a spot. It stays there. You manage it. I am talking about pain that shows up in one place on Monday, and a different place on Wednesday, and a different place on Friday. Pain that wanders. Pain that doesn't seem connected to anything you did. You didn't lift anything. You didn't fall. You didn't twist. But the pain is there. And then it is somewhere else. And then it is somewhere else again. Wandering pain is not random. It is a signal from a system that is struggling to locate its own problem. The body is sending pain signals to multiple locations because the source of the problem is not where you feel it. Referred pain is real. A problem in your spine can show up as pain in your leg. A problem in your organ can show up as pain in your shoulder. The body's wiring is complex, and the signals sometimes arrive at the wrong address. And when pain moves, it is often the body trying multiple addresses to get your attention. It is knocking on every door in the house, hoping someone will answer. My grandfather ignored wandering pain for months. His shoulder hurt one week. His back hurt the next. His side ached for a few days and then stopped, and then his chest felt tight, and then that stopped, and his arm tingled, and he said it is just aches and pains. Old body, old bones, nothing to worry about. He was wrong, and by the time the wandering pain was investigated, the thing it was trying to announce had been growing quietly in a place that none of the pain locations pointed to directly. The pain was the alarm, and the alarm was ringing in different rooms because the fire was in a room that didn't have its own alarm. The body was improvising, sending the signal wherever it could, hoping someone would follow the signal back to the source. And nobody did, because the signal was dismissed as just getting old. 5 things. A change in your sleep, a change in your appetite, a change in your balance, a change in your mood that has no trigger, and pain that moves. 5 things that your body is trying to say to you in the only language it has, the language of change, the language of disruption, the language that says something is different and different needs attention, not panic, attention. The body is not trying to scare you. The body is trying to save you, the way it has been trying to save you your entire life. Every fever was the body fighting for you. Every cough was the body clearing for you. Every pain was the body warning you. And now, after 60, the warnings are more important than they have ever been, Because the margin for error is smaller. The body has less reserve, less ability to compensate for problems that go unaddressed. What could wait at 40 cannot wait at 70. And the person who listens at the first whisper is the person who is still standing when the person who waited for the shout is not. I want to give you something practical before I go. A habit, something you can start today. Every morning before you get out of bed, before your feet touch the floor, lie still for 1 minute and listen. Not to the room, to your body. Scan it. Start at your feet and move up. What does each part feel like today? Is there pain where there wasn't yesterday? Is there stiffness that is new? Is there a heaviness or a lightness or a numbness or a tingling that wasn't there last week? Just notice. Don't diagnose, don't panic, just notice. The way a farmer walks his field every morning and notices, not looking for problems, just reading the land. And if you notice something that has changed, write it down. Date and description. 3 words is enough. Left knee, new. Sleep, broken again. No appetite, Tuesday. A simple record. Because patterns are invisible in the moment but obvious on paper. And when you visit your doctor, you bring the paper. Not your memory. The paper. Because your memory will say, I've been feeling a little off. But the paper will say, sleep disrupted 14 times in 6 weeks, appetite dropped 3 days out of every 7, left knee pain started March 3rd and hasn't stopped. The paper speaks the language doctors understand, and the paper might save your life by making visible what your memory would have minimized. My grandmother kept a record like this her entire life, not on paper, in her mind. But she had a mind that forgot nothing. She knew exactly when every change in her body started. She could tell you the day her vision shifted, the week her hearing changed, the month her left hip began to speak. And because she knew, because she tracked, because she treated her body's signals with the same respect she gave the land's signals, she lived to 93. Not because she was lucky, because she listened. And the body rewards the people who listen the same way the land rewards the farmer who pays attention, with more time, more seasons, more harvests, more years of standing in the field watching the sun rise on a body that is old and imperfect and making sounds it never used to make but is still here, still standing, still carrying you, because you cared enough to listen when it spoke. Listen to the body. It is the oldest friend you have. It has carried you through every year of your life without asking for anything except attention. Give it the attention it is asking for now. Not next month. Now. Because the body does not speak louder than a whisper without a reason, and the reason deserves your respect. If what you heard today stayed with you, the book is there. The Native Way. 20 teachings, 100 pages. Written the way I would speak to you if we were sitting together. Scan the Q&R code on the screen with your phone or find the link in the comments. Read 1 chapter. Sit with it. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 changes have you been ignoring and for how long? I read every comment. And if this is the kind of conversation you have been looking for, subscribe to this channel. We are not collecting viewers here. We are collecting people who remember. Come back next week. I am not done teaching yet.